The winning blueprint presents.
In the lab room.
Next up is what I've deemed and what I have coined the Ugly Bowl, which pits the 1-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against the 1-4 Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't get much uglier than this football game. This is one of those games that if it wasn't my job to watch it, I probably would let someone else watch it and tell me what happened. This game is going to be very, very, very ugly. Hence the name, the Ugly Bowl. These two teams struggle to score on offense, both of them. These two teams have issues, not so much the Bucs as much as the Kansas City Chiefs at the quarterback position. And the Bucs need more production out of their quarterback position with Josh Freeman. The Kansas City Chiefs are struggling at their quarterback position. Matt Castle got hurt a week ago, left that ball game, can't play this week. So enter Brady Quinn. Don't know how that's going to go. Both of these teams are in quicksand, running in place. And both of these teams, while they can play some defense, they get gashed on defense as well, and they don't have a problem turning the football over. The Chiefs lead the National Football League with turnovers. They turn the football over routinely. And so this game has a chance to be ugly. And again, when it's two teams who are evenly matched, whether they're both good or both bad, I go with the home team. That's the rule of thumb, and I'm not changing my stance here. I think Tampa Bay is the better team anyway, so it makes me feel a lot more comfortable picking them. But this game is going to be ugly. One that if I didn't have to pick, I wouldn't. And one if I didn't have to watch, I wouldn't. But I do, and I do. And so I'm picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get it done over the Kansas City Chiefs, 20-13, taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers record to 2-3 on the season, dropping the Chiefs to 1-5 on this season. This is going to be an ugly football game. I feel bad for you in the markets that have to watch this game, don't have a choice to turn away. Sorry. I'm apologize in advance for you. This football game is going to be hard to watch. Buffalo Bills traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. And the Cardinals took one on the chin last week. They were undefeated going into the game against the Rams a week ago. And they took one flat, square on the chin and were knocked out on the canvas and did not get up. They got a 10 count. And they're still trying to get up right now. They're still staggering. But luckily for them, they're home. And the Bills are showing up to town. If there was ever a time that a team needed to use their get back on track Buffalo Bills card, it would be the Arizona Cardinals, and this is a perfect time for them to use it. The Buffalo Bills are coming to town, and they're struggling. They're in free-fall mode, and they just got shellacked a week ago on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. They got busted up 2 weeks ago by the New England Patriots at home, and I expect them to get busted up again on the road against these Arizona Cardinals. The Bills right now, like I said, their season is finished. The Bills are at the point now that their beds are already made at the bottom of that division in the AFC East. All they have to do is get in it, lay in it, and don't get up. And each week, there will be a new team tucking them in their beds in the bottom of that division. This week, it's the Arizona Cardinals' turn to tuck them nice and tight and snug into that bed at the bottom of the AFC East division. Hence, I expect the Cardinals to come into this football game very hot under the collar from that loss they took a week ago. And they got some devastating injuries. There's no Beanie Wells. There's no Ryan Williams. They're going to have to rely on some, I guess, LaRod Stevens howling to run the football this week. And some William Powell. I think they need to let William Powell take those carries and see what he can do. I like his running style, and let's see what he can do. But running isn't the forte of the Arizona Cardinals anyhow. They're a passing football team. They need to come out, throw the ball all around the field, get it to Larry Fitzgerald, get it to him often, get it to him early, get it to him often, get it to him early, often, late, often. Get it to Larry Fitzgerald as much as you can. When you're not throwing to him, spread it around. Get it to Andre Roberts. Get it to Michael Floyd. Get it to Early Doucette. Get it to Rob Hausler. There's options everywhere. Just spread the ball around. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, you will find in this football game that the Buffalo Bills will not put up much resistance in stopping you from doing what you want to do. All you need to do is come out in this football game, show them that you're the better team early, and the Bills will fold. It's what they do. They're not going to put up much resistance. What you need to do on the defensive side of the ball, however, you do have to hold up your end of the bargain on defense, is stop the run. Stop Fred Jackson. Stop C.J. Spiller. You cut off that portion of the body, and the rest of it will die. That is the head of the Buffalo Bills offense. That running attack. They get C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson going. All of a sudden, Ryan Fitzpatrick gets a little bit of confidence. Now you're in a dogfight. You stop the running game, make Fitzpatrick beat you. He's going to throw it to your team more than once. Then you will win the game very easily. That's the blueprint for beating the Bills. Cut off the head, and the rest of the body will die. Stop the running game, then the passing game will feed you turnovers. So the Arizona Cardinals will use their get back on track Buffalo Bills card this week and beat the Buffalo Bills 24-13 to take their record to 5-1 on the season, dropping the Bills to 2-4 on the season. Like I said, the Bills are in free fall mode, so don't look for the Bills to be doing much of anything for the rest of the season. It's early in the season, I know, to be declaring someone's season over, but I feel pretty confident doing that to the Buffalo Bills. The New England Patriots are going to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. This is a big football game for a number of reasons. The Seahawks want respect in the NFC West division. This division is all of a sudden loaded. Remember 3 years ago when this division was probably the worst division in all of football? Maybe one of the worst divisions ever? Remember that? Well, now they're one of the better divisions in all of football. And they play the best defense. Yeah. I just said they played the best defense in the NFC West. Yeah, that's what I just said. Unbelievable, right? You're talking about two of the most stingiest defenses in the 49ers and the Seahawks. And the Rams play defense. And oh yeah, the Cardinals play defense too. So the Seattle Seahawks are going to welcome the New England Patriots to town. And the Patriots all of a sudden have found their offensive stride. And all of us who have been watching football for the last 5 to 7 years knew that this was coming. They were going to find their stride. Brady was going to start finding open receivers, spreading the ball around. Welker was going to get his touches. Gronkowski was going to get his touches. And Brandon Lloyd was going to finally assimilate himself into that offense, and he was going to get going as well. That's what's starting to happen. You sprinkle in a little bit of Danny Woodhead. You sprinkle in a little bit of a run game. All of a sudden, the Patriots are one of the most dangerous teams on offense again. So now it's the Seattle Seahawks' job to stop this offense and maybe not stop it, but slow it down. And you really want to grind it to a halt if you're the Seattle Seahawks. It can be done. You can stop the Patriots' offense, and the way to do it, get pressure on Tom Brady. Any team that's ever had success against the New England Patriots will tell you that the blueprint for success against them is to rush, hurry, and disturb Tom Brady. Get him off of his spot, hit him early, hit him often, sack him, make him uncomfortable. Make Tom Brady want to fuss at his offensive lineman. Make it uncomfortable for him to be back there in the pocket. And if there's any team in the league that can do that, it's the Seattle Seahawks. Ask Aaron Rodgers when he traveled to Seattle what happened in the first half of that football game. The Patriots are going to have to protect Tom Brady, something they haven't done all season long for the most part. Brady has been a guy that has been under duress at times this season. And they don't want to allow this Seattle Seahawks defense to get to Brady, because if they do, it's going to be a long day for that New England Patriots offense. Now, if you look at the Seahawks offense, they're nowhere near as good as the defense is. This offense's job is to not throw the game away. Don't turn it over. Don't put the defense in tough positions by turning it over. And running the football with Marshawn Lynch. And if they can do that against this Patriots defense, which has been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, this is a roller coaster defense. One week they're up. Next week they're down. And so if you're the Seahawks, you want to run the football. Establish Marshawn Lynch early in this game. Allow him to go beast mode. Go play action fake off of that, which has been probably the most comfortable throws for Russell Wilson in his early stages of his career. He loves finding a tight end over the middle of the field. He loves going deep to Golden Tate and those big play receivers down the field off of play action fake. He's been his most comfortable when Marshawn Lynch is running the football effectively and being able to go play action fake off of it. The Patriots can be ran on. The Patriots can be exploited in the secondary because they're a young defense. So if they can protect Russell Wilson, run the football with Marshawn Lynch, they should be able to take care of business against the Patriots. But all of those things that I just mentioned are the perfect storm for the Seattle Seahawks. That means everything is going their way, everything is going right for them, and everything is going wrong for the Patriots. And again, I don't see that happening. The Patriots are the better team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better head coach. And as funny as this seems to say, they have the better running game right now. All those things that I just mentioned add up to a New England Patriots victory on the road against a tough Seattle Seahawks team. 27-17. Now, if they get pressure on Brady early and often, stop the running game of the Patriots, make Tom Brady beat them and get pressure on them, they can win this football game if they don't turn it over themselves. But that's a lot to ask. That's a lot of things I just asked them to do. I asked them to stop the run, stop Tom Brady, which in itself sounds ludicrous. Then I asked them to not turn it over and run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. All these things have to happen. Not one, not two, not three. All of them, all four of them need to happen, and they need to be efficient and effective in doing all of them, which I don't see them being able to do all in one game against the Patriots. So the Patriots get the win 27-17 on the road against the Seahawks, take their record to 4-2 on the season, and drop the Seattle Seahawks to 3-3 on the season. This next game up on the docket is for big boys and big boys only. If you're afraid of a hard-hitting football game with a lot of intensity that pits two teams who went at it in the NFC Championship game a year ago, then you need to turn away. This isn't for the faint of heart. I'm talking about, of course, I'm referencing the New York Giants traveling to San Francisco to take on the San Francisco 49ers and what I have dubbed NFC War 3. Because they had a regular season matchup last year that was a great football game. Great football game that ended in a Giants loss. They went down the field toward the end of the game, tried to pull it out at the end. Justin Smith batted down Eli Manning's 4th down attempt. We go to the playoffs. Giants were able to outlast the 49ers, who had, turnovers. The last critical one being by Kyle Williams, muffing a punt. Giants kick a field goal in overtime, win that football game, as we all remember, leading them to the Super Bowl, where they defeated the New England Patriots. So these two teams really don't like each other, and they're starting to develop a sort of rivalry. And if you're a football fan, you love it. These are two intense football teams that, when they're playing their best football, it's a joy to watch. The Giants can get it revved up on the offensive end, and when their front four is being ferocious, there's none better in the National Football League. Meanwhile, the San Francisco 49ers, without a doubt, have the best front seven in all of football, for my money at least. And as a whole on defense, You'd be hard-pressed to find a defense that does it better than the San Francisco 49ers. On offense, they do just enough to get it done. They're not a flashy offense. They're not an explosive offense. I call them a deliberate offense. Everything they do is calculated, it's well thought out, and it needs to be executed to a T or else it won't work. Meanwhile, the Giants are a team on offense that can be explosive at times. They're a feast or famine offense. Either they're lighting you up or they're doing absolutely nothing on the offensive end. And their defense this year has been decimated by injury. It has been sort of lackluster at times. They got no pressure on the Cleveland Browns a week ago. And so I don't know what's going on with their front four, but the pressure is not there like it's been in the past. But this Giants team always has a knack for showing up at the right time and playing good football. When the stage is its brightest, the Giants show up. And that front four shows up. And they get it done. And this is a bright stage. This is going to be the marquee matchup of this Week 6 slate of games. Everyone is going to be tuned in to watch this game. It's a big one. Everyone wants to see it. And the Giants and the 49ers are going to put on a show as they've done the first two times these teams have met. You know, some of the Giants players have jumped ship. Mario Manningham and Brandon Jacobs, both part of the Giants Super Bowl run a season ago, are now San Francisco 49ers. So some of the players and names have changed. The game remains the same. These are two teams that don't like each other. And the 49ers want revenge. They're out for revenge. And so the Giants have to come with their A game. Eli Manning has been playing magnificent football this year, carving up defenses left and right. And he really hasn't had a full complement of receivers to which to do so all season. And yet that has not stopped him in his quest to take these Giants back to another Super Bowl. He should be getting back Hakeem Nicks this week. If not, that is one serious foot injury. They should be getting Ramses Barden back from a concussion. So this Giants team should be fully stocked, ready, locked, and loaded to fire against this San Francisco 49ers defense. But this isn't uncommon for the 49ers. This isn't foreign territory for them. They're used to going up against teams who are supposed to be explosive on offense. You remember back to the first game of the season? We didn't know that the Packers were going to struggle this year on offense. And so we thought that this was going to be great offense against great defense, and we wanted to see who won out. Well, the great defense won out because the 49ers stifled that Packers offense, won the football game. In week 2, they took on a Lions team who last year scored points. Very explosive on offense. We did not know the Lions were going to struggle this year to score points. And so the 49ers took it to the Lions, stifled them on offense as well, and limited them in their attack and won the football game. So this isn't the first time that the 49ers have been called upon to go up against an explosive offense and slow them down. However, this isn't the same type of teams they've been playing in the past. These are the Giants, a team who has their number. Or at least in this series, it's 1-1, but the Giants have the bigger victory, the one that sent them to the Super Bowl. And so the San Francisco 49ers are out for revenge. And honestly, if this were a playoff game, I would take the Giants. Because I think that the Giants, even though they're on the road, I would take the Giants. Because I think the Giants are better equipped in the playoffs to get it done. They've been there many a times. They know how to get it done. And I trust them more than I trust the 49ers when the stage is its biggest. This stage is big, but it's not its biggest. This stage is bright, but it's not its brightest. And so I think the 49ers are going to be able to get the Giants at home in this ball game because the Giants, while they want this football game, they want it bad, they can lose this game and still be okay. This isn't a win or go home scenario in which I would have taken the Giants. This is a game where you want to win. If you don't, okay, go back to the drawing board, try to get it done the next time. I just feel like the 49ers at home with a sort of a chip on their shoulder from that game that left a bad taste in their mouth to end their season last year, they're going to come out and try to get this one, and I think they will in a close ball game, a hard-fought ball game in NFC War 3, 23-20 against the New York Giants, taking their record to 5-1 on the season, dropping the Giants to 3-3 on the season. This is going to be a fun football game. It can go either way. Whoever wins this football game is going to be close. Neither one of these teams are going to run away from the other and win this football game. It's going to be a close game between two teams who know each other, who have bad blood between the two, who want to beat each other very bad. And I think the home team is going to get this one. And again, had this been in the playoffs, I put my money on the Giants because I trust the Giants to get it done when it counts the most. That deliberate offense that the 49ers employ, it can get it done. It's good enough to get it done in the regular season where you see your fair share of, less than stellar opponents. But when everything buckles down and teams are better in the playoffs and you see consistent good football teams week in and week out, I don't think that the 49ers offense as constructed, the way they run it, is good enough to win a game against a team like the Giants. I just don't. But in this regular season matchup, I think it'll be just enough to get it done against the Giants, 23-20. Last but not least, the Green Bay Packers travel to Houston to take on the Texans on Sunday Night Football. And the Green Bay Packers need this one back. They're reeling. They're struggling. And if you haven't been listening to me, I'll say it once more because I don't think I need to say this too many more times because I think it's evident, I think it's obvious that the Packers from a year ago are gone. That was an anomaly. That was a special season for the Packers that didn't culminate in a Super Bowl, but it was one heck of a regular season. They were on top. They were an offensive juggernaut and could not be stopped last year on offense during the regular season. I think it's safe to say that that team is gone. Aaron Rodgers is not, the quarterback that lit the NFL on fire a season ago. He's not playing his best football. That offensive line is not protecting him the way they need to. And they're dealing with injuries at receiver, mainly Greg Jennings. Now Jermichael Finley sustained an injury last week, and so don't know what his status for this game is going to be. Nonetheless, the Packers are not the superior team in this game. Normally when the Packers play in a football game, you lean towards them being the better football team. Now, do they play better in that given game? No. As their record indicates, they've lost more times than they've won this season, coming into this game at 2-3. So, no, they haven't been the better team in most of the games they've played this season, as indicated by their record. And this Packers team is playing up against a team that's just better than them. The Houston Texans are what the Packers were 2 years ago. A team on the rise with a quarterback that gets it done, that plays sound defense, and is explosive on offense. The formula that the Packers had when they won the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. They're looking in the mirror at themselves in 2010 is what the Packers are doing. And so this Texans team at home against a Packers team who is reeling, I think they have a chance to deliver the knockout blow to the Green Bay Packers. Because if the Chicago Bears, who are playing really good football and are on a bye this week, continue to play football the way they've been playing to this point in the season, then the Green Bay Packers aren't going to catch them. And again, in the NFC, the way it's constructed this season, I don't know if you're the Packers if you can keep losing football games and thinking you can turn it up at some point in this season, win 9 games and get into the playoffs. It's becoming less and less likely every single week that a team with 9 wins is going to get into the playoffs. Because the NFC West is surprising people. Right now, they have all 4 of their teams playing solid football right now. Now, are all 4 of these teams going to continue playing solid football for the remainder of the season? No. But I tell you what, 3 out of 4 of them probably most likely will. And so, playoff spots are starting to dwindle. If teams keep playing good football, you know the NFC East is going to produce 2 teams. It looks like the NFC West is going to produce 2 teams. So that leaves 1 spot for the remaining 2 divisions, each division winners. And so if you're the Green Bay Packers, you're running out of time. It's early. Yes, it's early. But you're running out of time. You can't afford to keep dropping football games. if you want to make the postseason. And this opponent that you have in front of you in the Houston Texans is playing really good football right now. Maybe the best in all of the National Football League. And so you don't have a margin of error in this game. You have to be flawless if you want to go on the road to the Texans and beat the best team in all of football to this point. You have to be flawless. Something you haven't been able to do all season long. Even in the games you've won, you haven't been the team that we saw a year ago. The team that we saw 2 seasons ago that won the Super Bowl. You haven't been close to either one of those teams. I don't know what you are on defense yet. Because one game you're dominant, you're going after the quarterback, you're forcing turnovers, you're being the Packers defense. And in the next game, you're giving up big plays, you're giving up points, you're being the Packers defense. So I don't know what to make of this defense. The offense is struggling. You're not the offense from last year. I've already said they're not coming back. They missed the flight and they're not coming. So forget about those guys. But you're supposed to still be better than most offenses in the National Football League. But I can't tell right now. And this Houston Texans team, they're going to run the football. That's a staple of what they do. Arian Foster and Ben Tate are going to run the football. Whether you like it or not, they're going to run the football. And off of that run, they're going to do what most teams can't stop. Play action fake. It's a dangerous weapon. It's a double-edged sword. You try to stop the run because you know they're going to run. You want to put 8 in the box to stop Arian Foster. And when you do, they put it in his belly, put it back out, and then Matt Schaub goes up top to Andre Johnson or Owen Daniels, and he's wide open, and there's nothing you can do about it. Tough to stop. It's a formula for success the Texans have been using for years now. Now it's starting to pay even more dividends because this defense is actually really good under Wade Phillips. They're actually stopping teams on defense, creating turnovers, and scoring points off of those turnovers. So now the defense is matching the offense's productivity. So this is a scary Houston Texans team right now. One that I don't think the Packers are going to be able to go on the road and beat. You have to be flawless if you're the Packers, if you want to beat the Houston Texans on the road. And I don't see you being able to do it. And so the 5-0 Texans are going to move to 6-0 against the 2-3 Packers, who will move down to 2-4. 24-20, winning this football game. And really, if you're the Packers, you really want this one. You want it bad because I keep talking about the Chicago Bears in that division. Don't forget about the Minnesota Vikings. Don't forget about the Vikings. I just forgot about them easily, and it's easy to do. But shh, that's what the Vikings want you to do. Shh, they quietly are going about their business. They're 4-1 on the season. They're quietly winning football games. Nobody's paying attention to them. And they're quietly making moves in the NFC North. And while the Packers are struggling, they're right there on the heels of the Chicago Bears. Have a chance to take the lead in that division because the Bears are off. They have a chance to go to 5-1 in that division with the win over the Redskins this weekend. And so, if you're the Packers, you can't afford to not win this football game. But I don't think you're going to be able to do it. The Texans are too good of a football team at home for you to come in and steal one from them. You're not playing good enough football. You have to be flawless in this game. Do you know what that means? You can't turn it over. You have to protect Aaron Rodgers. You have to stop the run. You have to stop the play action fake. And you have to make big plays of your own. You have to do all of those things. And I don't see you being able to do that. Put it all together and get a win on the road. So you have an uphill battle to climb because the Vikings aren't going anywhere. Don't know if they're going to the playoffs, but they're not going anywhere. And the Chicago Bears look like the class of that division right now. And you only have played the Bears to this point in that division. You haven't played the Lions yet. You haven't played the Vikings yet. And you still got to go to Soldier Field. Your work is cut out for you. So this is going to be a big test for you. If you want to make some noise and show some life, you go and beat the Texans on the road and make a statement. You want to make this an even more tough task for you to try to make the playoffs? You go on the road and do what you've done all season and struggle. And that's going to do it for the Sunday slate of games. That's a touchdown. Throw it up. I want to tack on this quick extra point. Going to be brief. I've done every game on Sunday with the omission of one. Of course, that being the Redskins hosting the Minnesota Vikings. That is going to be reserved for the Redskins report. That'll be up, shortly after this video has been posted. Stay tuned for that. The Redskins are 2-3 on the season. Vikings are 4-1. This is going to be a very good football game. So stay tuned for the Redskins report as I delve into that game and tell you about that matchup and who's going to win and why. And so that's going to do it for this episode of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. It's been a long episode, but again, that's what happens when you have to go over these slate of games. I'm a little bit nervous for this week because I got off to a bad start. The Steelers let me down last night, but again, this is less about the Steelers, more about the Titans. I'm not going to sit here and harp about the injuries and what the Steelers weren't able to do. Let's talk about what the Titans were able to do. They were able to get it done when they had to do it against a team that had been struggling of late, a team that has come into a big injury bug, and they took advantage. And so give credit where credit is due. The Titans got it done, and they won a game on Thursday night, but that's not a good thing for me. I lost that football game, so now I have to do my very best to be on the right side of these nip and tuck ball games that are coming our way this weekend. There's a lot of close games that could go either way, and I got to find a way to be on the right side of these games. So we'll see. I thank you for joining me in the lab room. Would like to see you back here on Monday, same time, same place. Enjoy the weekend. There's going to be a lot of football. There's playoff baseball, NFL action all over the place. Enjoy the weekend. We'll come back Monday, talk about everything we saw over the weekend. We'll talk about who made a statement, who fell flat on their face over the weekend, and we'll get into all the particulars. I'll talk about how the lab did over the weekend and see what my record is after this week has come to a close. And we'll talk about the Monday night matchup, which sees some family business being commenced with the Denver Broncos traveling to San Diego to take on the Chargers. It's a weekend full of football, jam-packed weekend, a lot of things to watch on television. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you back here Monday. Enjoy yourself. So as always, same time, same place. Again, you were in the lab room. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one. I'm out.